Hi students, welcome back. We are going to be looking at dividing fractions some more this week. However, we're moving on from just dividing fractions, and we're going to learn today how to divide fractions with whole numbers as well as mixed numbers. And so before we jump into that, I just want to quickly go over a little bit of what we would have covered last week in our detailed lesson on dividing fractions. We always want to, when dividing fractions, remember the phrase keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same. After finding the reciprocal, you change the sign and the second fraction is flipped. So keep, change, flip. Now, by the end of today's lesson, you should know how to divide fractions with whole numbers and how to divide fractions with mixed numbers. So we're going to jump right in. The first fraction that we're going to look at, the first division sentence we're going to look at, is 3/4 divided by 8. As you can see, there is a fraction and there is a whole number. The whole number in this fraction is 8 in this division sentence, and in order to divide, we have to make sure that everything becomes a fraction. So we're going to rewrite this problem. The first fraction is 3/4. Then we have our division symbol still because we need to change this 8 to a fraction. We do that by placing the whole number, which in this instance is 8, over a denominator of 1. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and prepare to follow our keep, change, flip steps. So now that we have this, we're going to go ahead and rewrite again. I don't know what's going on with this writing today. Please excuse this penmanship. And so we have the first fraction in our division sentence, and we're going to keep this. The division symbol will now be changed to a multiplication symbol. And finally, we're going to flip the second fraction. So instead of 8 over 1, this will need to become 1 over 8. At this point, we can check to see if there's anywhere we can simplify before multiplying. I don't see anywhere, so we're just going to go ahead, follow the rules. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So this ends up becoming 3 times 1, which is 3. And that goes over 4 times 8, which is 32. And so here we have our answer. 3/4 divided by 8 would be 3 over 32. Or in other words, if we cut 3/4 up into 8 pieces, each of those 8 pieces would measure 3 over 32. All right, so let's have a look at this second one. In this instance, we have our whole number 7 being divided by the fraction 10/12. We're going to go ahead and rewrite the division sentence by making the 7 into a fraction. To do that, we're going to put our 7 over a denominator of 1 and just go ahead and finish writing this out. And then this will be equal. The next step is that we're going to follow the steps, keep, change, flip. So the first fraction, 7 over 1, we will keep. Division sign, we will change to a multiplication sign. And then we need to flip the second fraction. So this will become 12 over 10. Now we can check to see if there's anywhere we can simplify. And yes, we can simplify 12 over 10 and make it smaller using the JCF 2. So when we divide 2 into 12, it leaves us with 6. When we divide 2 into 10, it leaves us with 5. So then we end up with 7 over 1 being multiplied by 6 over 5. And this will be equal to 7 times 6. Oh boy. Sorry about that. 7 times 6 which is 42, over 1 times 5, which is 5. Now we ended up with an improper fraction, meaning the top is heavier, or the numerator, in other words, is bigger than the denominator. So what we need to do is simplify this by converting it to a mixed number. So here now we will go ahead and divide our 42 by 5. 5 goes into 4 0 times. 5 goes into 42 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. 42 take away 40 is 2. So we're going to end up with 8 remainder 2. And that 0 looks kind of funny over there, so let's just erase that so we don't get mixed up. Again, guys, please excuse this writing. I don't know what's going on today with this hand. Okay, so we have 42 over 5, and we divide it. So now we will write it, oh my goodness, we will write it as our mixed number, which is 8. The 2 is the numerator, and then we keep the same denominator, which is 5. And that's it for this part of it. Now we will move on. Now we're ready to look at dividing with mixed numbers. So you can see here we have 6 2/3 being divided by 5/10. The first thing we must do is convert this mixed number into an improper fraction so that we can work with it. We can do that by following the steps: denominator times whole number, and then whatever your product is, you add to the numerator. So that's going to be 3 times 6, which is 18, plus 2, which will give us 20. And that 20 will go over a denominator of 3. We're going to keep our division sign since we are just rewriting the problem with fractions. And so now we have our 5 over 10. Again, please excuse the writing. It's especially bad today. I'm having some difficulties with my carpal tunnel, so my wrist is very stiff. Okay, so let's see how best we can get through this without taking up too much time. All right, guys, so at this point now we're going to keep in mind, keep, change, flip. The first fraction is 20 over 3. Sign will now be changed to the multiplication sign. Second fraction will be flipped and will become 10 over 5. So now we can look for opportunities to simplify before multiplying, and we do have a pretty good one here with the 5 and the 20. We can use 5 to simplify 5 and 20. 5 goes into itself once, 5 goes into 20 4 times. So at this point, we can go ahead, you can rewrite it, but just for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply 4 times 10, which is 40, oh my gracious, over 3 times 1, which is 3. Again, we have an improper fraction answer, so we simplify that by dividing. So we're going to divide 3 into 40. 3 goes into 4 once. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 take away 3 is 1. Bring down the 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. Oh, wow. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 take away 9 is 1. So we have our 13 with a remainder of 1. Now this is going to be written as an answer: 13, the whole number, 1, the numerator, and 3. So 6 2/3 divided by 5/10 is 13 1/3. In other words, How many groups of 5/10 can we get from 6 2/3? We can get 13 1/3 groups of 5/10 from 6 2/3. I hope that made sense. All right, so in the second example, we have two mixed numbers, and we're simply going to follow the steps. Convert your mixed numbers into improper fractions, and then go ahead and do keep, change, flip. The first mixed number is 4 2/5. We multiply 5 times 4, which is 20, plus 2 gives us 22, and that's going over the denominator 5. Sign is still the same because all we're doing now is our conversions. The second mixed number is 7 1/2, so that's going to be 2 times 7, 14, and 1, 15. And that goes over a denominator of 2. Now we can do keep, change, flip. So this will become 22 over 5. Change the sign to a multiplication sign. Flip this fraction to 2 over 15. All right, so now we need to go ahead and we need to multiply. Following the rules, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, 22 times 2 gives us 44 over 5 times 15 gives us 75. And as far as I know, there is no way we can really simplify those two numbers. And so even though the numbers seem big, we are done. Okay, so thank you for bearing with me and my horrible penmanship today. Please rewatch the video as many times as you need to in order to understand the steps. And then you can go ahead and attempt this week's questions. Have a great day.